Some people might not rewatch anime. They might be like, why would I watch something again? I've already seen it once. But how's everybody doing? Maybe Kuchu's here. Some anime is so forgettable that you forget half of what you even watch by the next day. And then there's some animes that you watch that stick with you vividly for months, sometimes years, scene by scene. I'm gonna go through and do a quick top 5-ish animes I've rewatched, or also top 5 rewatchable animes, however you want to say it. I've watched all these anime at least twice, some of them 3 times now. Some of them I just find to be classics. Like, I can watch them 4 or 5 times and not get tired of them. Let's just get straight into it. These aren't in any particular order, but let's just start off with Fate Stay Night. I've actually rewatched a few Fate shows. I've rewatched Fate Stay Night at least twice, and I've also rewatched the Fate Grand Order Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia. What the fuck is it? Fate Grand Order Babylonia Absolute Demonic Front. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Type Moon. I guess I have a bias with Type Moon. I just think that Type Moon and Ufotable do some of the best animation. Like, when they come together, those two studios, they just make some of the best animated shows, like crisp, clean animation. And Fate Stay Night, the Unlimited Blade Works series, the retelling of it, even though it's a few years old now, it's still like each episode looks like anime movie quality. Like, the fight scenes are fantastic. The story is for some people might get a little thrown off by Fate and get a little confused with the different series and them being kind of like, some of them are like alternate realities and stuff like that. But I've always liked the concept since I watched the first Fate Zero years back. Like, just the concept of the Holy Grail War, all the different fighters. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works is a masterpiece to me. Like, for a 24 episode show, for me, probably it's got to be top 5 24 episode series. Like, it's in my top 5 because it's just action, jam-packed story, top to bottom. It's not the only one. There's a few others on this list, but it's definitely up there. So we're gonna start with Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Moving on to number 2, rewatchable anime. This anime I rewatched numerous times, at least 4 now. I think I just finished watching it for like 4. I just will randomly watch it every now and then when I can't really find something good to watch. I just resort back to like one of 2 or 3 shows, and that number 2 is Hellsing Ultimate. Now, Hellsing Ultimate is a 10 episode series, but like each episode is almost like a movie length. Like, they're somewhere between like 30 to 40 or 50 minutes each, like OVAs. If you're unfamiliar with Hellsing Ultimate, he's Alucard vampire. He kills vampires. So Alucard works for Integra. Well, he has a contract with Integra Hellsing and kills any vampires, humans, whoever comes and threatens the Hellsing organization. And Alucard is a different kind of vampire. He's tiers above these other vampires in the show. Like, he's like the OG, the Godfather. He's got some crazy powers. Like, the shit he does in that show is crazy. Like, it's gory as hell. Like, if you're not really into the gory seinen type anime, it might not be for you. He goes crazy when he kills people. When it comes down to those over the top action animes, like, but gory, like overkill, Hellsing Ultimate is up there for me. It's just a classic. You know, it's not too short, it's not too long. 10 episodes, but like I said, they're longer than a regular episode. It's closer to like what would be, I think, 20, maybe not 24 whole episodes, but closer. It's definitely more than 12 episodes worth of content in those 10 episodes. So number 2, we're gonna put Hellsing Ultimate. Number 3, I'm gonna have to rock with JoJo's. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If I were to pick one specifically, I think my favorite was probably Diamond is Unbreakable in Japan. Stardust Crusaders was awesome. It's just, I felt like it was kind of long, the 2 24 episode seasons, and I felt like it took a much longer time to get to I feel like Stardust Crusader kind of dragged out for sure a few episodes. It definitely could have finished a little earlier, Not saying it's bad, because I love JoJo's and shit, but I personally prefer Diamonds Unbreakable. The one with Giorno in Italy is also a contender. That one's good too. But Diamonds Unbreakable with Josuke and Jotaro actually was what put me onto JoJo's years ago. I was kind of like really put off by like art style and like a lot of the memes of shit that I was seeing years back, and everybody would either love or hate it, and eventually I just had to give it a chance for myself. But since I kind of felt like I wouldn't like it watching from the beginning, I had to like introduce it in a different way. Like, it's the same way I started watching One Piece. I didn't start watching One Piece from episode 1. I started watching One Piece from episode East Blue movie. I condensed the first 60 episodes, and then I started watching from there on, like episode 61. Like, I didn't even go back and watch the original 52, 60 episodes, whatever it is, before that the movie covered. So there's definitely stuff that I missed in One Piece. But Diamonds Unbreakable is what started me in the JoJo series. I just watched that first. It didn't make sense. I watched it, I liked it, and then I went back and started from the first season. And it probably doesn't make sense to anybody, but it just didn't seem interesting to me at first. When I had tried to go back and watch the first season of JoJo's prior to watching Diamonds Unbreakable, at least on 2 or 3 occasions, and I don't know why. Maybe it was the art style at first, but it was just putting me off. So after I watched Diamonds Unbreakable, JoJo's has become one of my it's definitely in my top 10, probably top 5 series too, but for sure top 10. All JoJo's, like Hamon all the way up to the stands, like JoJo's is classic. If you haven't checked out this series, there's plenty to watch too. Go check out JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But I'll put that as number 3. Number 4, I was originally going to put this as a runner-up, like an honorable mention, but I thought hard on it, and this is actually the anime I've rewatched more than anything for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe because it was on Netflix, but The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. I know that is totally different from the other animes on this list. It's more of just a regular comedy anime, but the humor in Psyche, coupled with the fact that Psyche never talks in the show, I don't know, something about that show from when I first watched it. I love Psyche, like almost it's not the Office equivalent, bro, but it's got like some random humor that like you don't really see too much in a lot of other animes, and it's just like back to back, like random funny shit stays happening in Psyche. Like, it literally is a disastrous life for him. Like, he has psychic powers, and you would think he's living his best life because of that, but he's not, bro. Like, he's just trying to chill, relax in silence, nobody bother him, and just have some coffee jelly. Just like Mash, all Mash wants is his cream puffs. All my boy Psyche wants is his coffee jelly. He obviously doesn't get to ever eat his coffee jelly in peace. I've watched all of Psyche. I can't count how many times, honestly. There was a point in time where when I would go to sleep, I would just put Psyche on Netflix on the TV and fall asleep watching Psyche. And then I would just, that for like weeks, months, I just watch Psyche to go to sleep every night. Rewatch episodes almost like how I used to watch The Office, like, or watch any show to just go to sleep. And I've rewatched those episodes so many damn times, bro. Like a sitcom. Classic show. Sucks that it's over. Disastrous Life of Psyche K has to go down as one of the top comedy animes of all time. Like, it has to. Like, I think the only thing that really has it beat, and it's just for content, like, you know, content for content, is Gintama. You can't beat having 500-600 episodes and all the movies. Gintama is a little different though, because it does have a serious aspect to it that plays a big role. Psyche doesn't. Like, Psyche's a comedy anime, but nonetheless, check out Disastrous Life of Psyche K. Awesome show. Now, number 5 is gonna kind of be a toss-up for me. I kind of have a bias because, again, content and media that's out for it, but I'm gonna go with, if I were to narrow it down to 5, I'm going to put JJK at number 5. Jujutsu Kaisen for me has become one of my favorite animes that, like, I didn't expect, like, out of the blue. Like, it came behind Demon Slayer, and at the time Demon Slayer was like becoming my favorite anime, and then Jujutsu Kaisen just dropped the first season, and Demon Slayer kept dropping season after season. finally Jujutsu Kaisen dropped. The movie Zero, and then the second season. No, not really spoilers. I'm not gonna really throw too much spoilers. I'll do a separate discussion video about Jujutsu Kaisen and the second season and stuff like that. But Jujutsu Kaisen, I don't know. It's like I feel like it's taken like the #1 spot for like, I guess shonen, but like just action anime. Like the action is crazy. It's like non-stop. You're on the edge of your seat. Like shit happens that you don't expect. Like it's not your traditional shonen. Just like AOT AOT was seinen as hell. I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen's kind of seinen too. Like, you know, it has the shonen aspects, but it's definitely leans further onto the seinen side. But the story, just everything, the plot, the way it develops, the way they like it all ties together from the beginning. And like you watch the first season and then you watch Jujutsu Kaisen 0, which takes place before the first season. Then you watch the second season, which the first few episodes takes place before the movie, even before that, which is backwards as hell, but whatever, it all makes sense because it pieces shit together. Then you get back to the present time in the second season and everything makes sense. And I like that, instead of it all just being like some shows. Easiest one I can think off the top of my head, bro. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, whatever the case may be, has nothing but plot holes everywhere. Like nothing, like there's no real power scaling. It's all about ass pulls. There's no such thing as foreshadowing. Random shit just happens, and it just happens, and it's like, oh, that happens, and you keep it pushing to the next random thing that like in Jujutsu Kaisen. I had to rewatch it a second time to like pick up on a lot of things. Everything ties in and shit is foreshadowed and shit makes sense and it adds up like way more believably than Goku gets mad for the 8th time and unlocks a new power level. It's just, you get the point, you know what I'm saying? It's just, everything is so empty in Dragon Ball Z, just empty ass pussy. Jujutsu Kaisen, real substance. Like, anime of the year. I'm sorry, call me basic, call me simple, call me a blockhead. For me, anime of the year, Jujutsu Kaisen, especially Shibuya Incident Arc for sure. So let's do a few honorable mentions real quick. #1, almost, I won't say tying Jujutsu Kaisen because Jujutsu Kaisen still holds that spot, but coming in like right behind it for me, I have to say it's Chainsaw Man. First season of Chainsaw Man was fucking awesome. Animation was on point. It feels different enough. For me, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Chainsaw Man all came out and feel like they were trying to compete with each other. They probably weren't. They probably all came out in different timelines since they were all mangas before the anime. But nonetheless, since I'm not an avid manga reader, I'm just an anime watcher, it felt like they were kind of all trying to fill the new role for big shonen anime, like next big shonen anime. I feel like Chainsaw Man definitely stepped it up to like the next level by incorporating like a few more aspects. Like, so I tried to incorporate some romance for Denji. I'm not gonna spoil it, never mind. The animation is crisp as shit, like fire, top notch. Like Mappa to me is one of the only other studios besides Ufotable and probably Bones, but they're the other studio that's like really putting shit out, like top notch animation. Like they know what they're doing at Mappa. Like I can't wait for the second season. It sucks there's not a second season out, but for the time being, that first season, 12 episodes, I'll go rewatch it. I've watched it twice already, and I'll probably watch it a third time. Another honorable mention is gonna be the Evangelion Rebuild movies. Evangelion was originally made as a 24 episode series, and then they made 2 more episodes at the end of Evangelion. And then the movies, I think from the second movie there's some things that are the same, but from the second movie there's like a lot of drastic changes. The first movie though is basically a crisper, beautiful looking version of the original series. I should probably fact check before I do these videos instead of doing them off the top of my head. But the first movie is canon to what you know, and then second, third, and fourth is like it's rebuilt. I think the second movie takes place after the 2 episodes. Like they don't incorporate the end of Evangelion into the movie rebuild series, but it's implied that it still takes place basically. I'm pretty sure it's implied that it takes place. I could be wrong. Regardless, it's 4 movies. They're definitely all feature-length movies, like almost 2 hours each. But they're so fucking good, bro. Like, I was already a fan of the Eva series before I saw the rebuilds. Like, I loved the show. I loved the show from when I watched it when I was a kid. Like, obviously I didn't fully grasp all the concepts watching it as a kid, because it's like definitely, it's got like some more sane concepts to it than other animes. But yeah, the movies are just a masterpiece, like a real masterpiece. A movie set that is like fucking classic that you can pull out and watch. I mean, obviously you're not gonna sit and fucking watch 4 movies back to back. I mean, you might, if you're crazy. Me, I didn't sit and watch that back to back at all. I sit and watch one, and then a day or two later, or the next day, I might watch part of one and then come back to it the next day. But like, I'm not sitting and watching them all back to back. But they're that good that if you want to binge them, you could do some crazy shit like that. I have watched all the movies at least twice now. I've definitely watched the first and second movie at least 3 times now. Actually, I watched first, second, and third, I think 3 times. I think I just didn't watch the final one a 3rd time. Nonetheless, that's a whole nother video in itself, talking about those, because it's 4 movies. There's so much that happens and so much going on. But like, it's cool seeing a classic finally get like a full ending instead of it being left like an open-ended cliffhanger type shit. I'm glad they went through and finally finished it, and it took hella years to drop like the 4th movie. From the first movie, I want to say it was like a 13-year gap from the 1st to the 4th. The animation looks so fucking beautiful in all 4 movies. Like, Eva's fucking awesome, bro. Like, the story of Evangelion is one of those that just is gonna be a timeless story when it comes to anime. Like, the original show came out in what, 95, 96 or something, and it still holds relevant, like, and it's still a good show and movie series to watch it now over 20 years later. Like, that's gonna be my top 5 rewatched animes I've rewatched, animes that I think could be watched more than once and still enjoyed. But let me know what you guys think. If you can give me 5 anime you've rewatched, if you rewatch anime. Some people might not rewatch anime. They might be like, why would I watch something again? I've already seen it once. But I think of so many things and forget so many things a day that I forget about shows a month after I watch them. Like, half of the shit that happens. To me, a good movie or a good show, like, can always be rewatched later. Let me know what anime you've rewatched. Let me know what anime you're looking to rewatch. I'm gonna do another video about shows that I'm gonna rewatch, like shows I haven't rewatched, but a list that I need to, because a few shows have new seasons coming out, and the last season was years ago already, so I need to catch up. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and that'll be all I got for today, guys. Catch you guys in the next one.